Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the TGE Quarantine Chronicles. Today I got more than one person with me today, so I'm super stoked and excited about this. I got Arnie, Ashley, and Becky with me today. How you guys doing?
Good.
How's quarantine been holding up for you guys? How have you guys been doing?
It's been a little rough for me because I'm doing my classes online and trying to work through that, but
Distance learning is very rough. Yeah, I got a little one in kindergarten. Obviously, her distance learning is a little bit different, but yeah, you're not getting the full college experience. So yeah, that does suck. It's a little
and
rough.
she has to stay at home with mom, so.
yeah, it's pretty rough.
And since I'm not working, I just said, okay, we have class at 8 in the morning and we have class at noon. So I'm a really big annoyance for her, obviously.
I can tell. How about you, Mr. Arnie?
Yeah, just doing my minimal hours at work, very minimal at that. But I mean, other than that, just.
So what I want to talk about today was right before the whole craziness happened. We went to Peru in September.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Which felt like 5 years ago now at this point. But yeah, so we went to Peru only because one of my core crew, Tito, wanted to go on this trip, Machu Picchu, the whole 9 yards, and he ended up bailing on his own trip.
Yes. Because of his new job, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Tito, I'm calling you out. You got a new job and you bailed on your own trip. So, but so we got down to Peru fine. Getting to Peru was fine. I enjoyed Lima, especially the district we're at in Miraflores. That apartment we stayed at was awesome. That was one big apartment with a whole bunch of different bedrooms. And I like the location. I liked it because I've talked about in my previous podcasts about if you have a big group, definitely go with the Airbnb if you can, because we only spent maybe $10 a person per night, something ridiculous and cheap like that.
Yeah.
It was cheap. Yeah.
And so if you have a big group of people, definitely do the Airbnb, because even hotel rooms, even if you try to cram 4 people to a room, usually you can't really swing that price, really. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, so we went to Lima first for a few days. We checked out some ruins.
Uh-huh.
But the most exciting thing that I really enjoyed was the paragliding.
Yes, definitely.
God, yeah.
That was number one. And you know what? I just remember we had to wait till the wind picked up, and I am so scared of heights. But I was last minute, I'm doing it, man. And it was the coolest experience ever.
And then since my mom was doing it, I was like, I can't not do it. She's doing it. I have to do it now.
But it was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, that right there was probably the best part about closing out the Lima portion of the trip, because the views were amazing.
Oh yeah, cliff and water. Oh.
I mean, I was kind of holding out for a while because I knew Tara was getting tired, and she's like, oh, how long are we going to wait around? I'm like, I'm going to wait around until they say, hey, we're closed, we're wrapping up shop. I mean, we sat there for it was almost half hour, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because the winds have to be fast enough to actually take off, because literally you're jumping off a cliff, essentially. It's this little, grass patch, and you're literally launching yourself off a cliff. But, Miraflores is on the top of that bluff, and it's a sheer drop down to the beach, which it was a long walk down to the beach too, even then.
Yeah.
And when I did it, he's like, run. And so, of course, the guy was shorter than me, and so of course he's like, all right, I'm just doing it. And you launch off, and it's amazing, and you get to see the skyline of Lima, the Miraflores district, and you're flying pretty close to these buildings, and it's just amazing. And it was pretty expensive, but I mean, at least they gave you the SD card of the film of the whole flight.
It was worth it. So worth it. Once in a lifetime experience. Highly recommended.
I'm still trying to find a computer that would actually fit that darn SD card, because I still want to check it out myself.
Yeah.
You know, they do sell adapters that you can actually put the mini SD into a bigger SD card, right? They do have adapters for that.
Oh, okay.
If you need one, I got a whole bunch. I mean,
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Lima was great. The food was amazing. The ceviche.
That
God,
seafood place we went to.
yes.
Yeah.
The first night we were in Lima, we went. Was it the first night? No, it was the second night technically because we got in super late. And then the second night, yeah, that seafood place was amazing.
Yeah.
And the food is just dirt cheap over there too. You could have a really great dinner for like 10, 15 bucks. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So then we did Lima for a little bit, but the big part of the trip that was one of my favorites was the going up to Cuzco and doing Machu Picchu. Now, getting up to Cuzco was a little challenging because I didn't realize how many flights, like per an hour, they had. It's like, you know, I show up to this one gate and they're like, "Oh no, this is the 10:02 flight. You're on the 10:07 flight." And we're like, "Wait, what?" Like, there's
yeah, they were so close.
There's like multiple flights, like every 5 minutes within each other. And then they didn't want you to wait at the gate to clear you because it's like, oh, there's not enough time to roll you to the next flight because then that next flight's closed and then that next flight's closed. And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was crazy, but we all got there to Cusco in one piece. And the altitude, man, the second you walk off the plane, like my lungs were just like working overdrive. Like you could literally feel like you could feel the pressure, like, okay, I don't think I'm supposed to be breathing this hard up here.
I know. I just like walked off the plane and I was already like breathing heavy.
Yeah.
It was rough.
And so the second place we stayed at wasn't really the best because we were all in one central location. The listing was a little bit misleading, I would say, because it kind of seemed like, oh, yeah, you're all going to be in one apartment like the place in Lima. But it's like, oh, no, it's two separate apartments. And we're like, okay. And I mean, Cusco was really hard to find accommodations for just because everything in the center of town, of course, it's boutique, it's super expensive. Airbnb wise, there really wasn't a lot like in town to check out. But getting around was pretty good. I mean, for the location, I mean, Uber was cheap to get in town and stuff.
Yeah.
And I really liked the shopping in downtown Cusco and just the atmosphere with like the old Center Square. The restaurants there were amazing. I went to this one, it was like a German like bar type restaurant by the Center Square. It was beautiful. And it was just, the food was amazing. The views were great. And they were super accommodating because my daughter has a gluten allergy. And so they were super accommodating with that. And that's usually really hard to find overseas. And it was just an amazing time. I want to hear what your guys' take was on Machu Picchu because we split off with Machu Picchu and we took the higher end train and you guys went up on your own on the cheaper train. How was that? And how was your experience with Machu Picchu?
Well, I like the train that we went on was fine. It was like really cool views of different areas. And then you kind of got into the jungle at the end. And it was pretty entertaining on there. And we could have those, what were those drinks we had?
Pisco sour.
Yeah. So we were able to drink those and we kind of just like hung out. And so the train ride was awesome on the way there.
Yeah, it was really neat to see like all the rural areas of like Peru. And
yeah. And on the way back, they really entertained and stuff. They like danced and did like this show for us. And that was really, really cool. I liked it.
They gave us a little runway show of all the clothes that they were trying to sell.
And Phil got up and danced with them. So that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought the interesting part about going up there was just how they get up to there, where we were just kind of going back and forth, but we were just going up the hill. And I was like, at first I was thinking, what is going on that we're stopping so many times? But that later on is when I found out that's how they get up there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that big old switchback up and down the side of pretty much the mountain in order to get to the top to where Machu Picchu was.
Yeah.
But then once you actually got to Machu Picchu, though, what was your experience like? What was your thoughts about being there that so many people hear so many amazing things about? It's like, what are the new wonders of the world? What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, you know what? When we got to the town part, I was like just mesmerized. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. That was it. That was even before we went up to the ruins, you know. And I mean, this is one of the most amazing trips we've ever been on in our lives. So, yeah, something else.
Yeah, just being able to see what the culture and everything was about. And I mean, for me, it's been one of my top places to go to, and it being technically my second international trip, but it was actually, for me, it was more of it being my first international trip, because I mean, other than Mexico, that was my basically my first top 10. So yeah, it was a good experience. I definitely want to go back eventually.
It would be nice to stay in the little town there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be really cool, I think.
Yeah, that would be nice to spend like a night or two there, like in that little town, because it seemed like there was a lot going on, but there really it wasn't a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was a real neat town in like the shopping area, because for us, we did the higher end train, so we had to take the car to just outside of Cusco, because you guys took the train. They just recently opened up those parts of the track right from downtown Cusco, because that station wasn't available for years, for I think almost a decade. And then they just opened that up that summer. So it was only open for a couple of months, which is great. It's convenient, because for us, we had to wait to grab an Uber and then take the Uber out of town. And that took about half an hour. Like, we thought for sure we missed the train. Like, oh no, we're going to miss the train. Like, because it's like, oh, you got to be here by this time or you might miss boarding. And of course we show up like 2 minutes past and they're like, oh no, you're good. You're fine. You made it.
But you guys got to sleep in too.
A little bit. Yeah. We slept in a little bit. And then we took the train up, but it was like the higher end train, the higher and BM train, which is by Belmont. And it was an amazing trip. If you could swing the money for it, it's amazing. I mean, they wine and dine you, unlimited drinks, you know, they have like set course meals and stuff. And even for Emma, they were super accommodating, because they're like, oh, you know, it's chicken and fish on the menu. But like, I was like, okay, what do you have for Emma? And it's like, oh, well, she has a gluten allergy. She has this allergy, that allergy. And they're like, and of course the guy was like, well, I think I could do like this with some rice. And like, they did like a separate meal for her, like with what they had on the restaurant car. They had a separate kitchen car on the train. And so it was awesome. And so we got up there, hopped on the bus, and then we ended up having our own tour guide. Like, I'm really sorry I didn't reach out to you guys when we were up there, because originally there's supposed to be 2 other guys with us, but one of them was older. And he's like, you know what? I'm not really feeling well. Like, I'm just going to go to the hotel, because Belmont also owns the hotel that's right on the top of that, right by the entrance.
Oh, wow.
So they were staying at the hotel. So they're like, no, we'll just go to the hotel. We'll rest. Not a big deal. And so it ended up being like, oh, okay, well, you guys are my only people. Like, that's it. I'm like, oh. So we took a whole tour and everything. We had the like tea time at the hotel after the tour and then down. But it was rushed, because it was like, okay, like it was like a full day. Like, by the time we got down to the town to hop back on the train, we had no time to go shopping. Of course, my wife, because in order to get to the train station, you got to walk through the market. And she was just like, oh my God, like I want to stop and buy stuff, but we can't, because it's the train. Yeah. And I really love that town. And I would love to go back and just experience it and just, you know, be a part of the culture up there, you know, not like a tourist just in and out. But I really want to go back to Machu Picchu again so bad. And I really want to go back to Cusco, because I think there's a souvenir. I forgot which one it was, but one of them broke. And so it's like, oh, we got to go back.
Yeah. But, you know, once we got up there and stuff, it was so like surreal or something. It was so breathtaking. It's like you can see it in a book or a magazine, but it's nothing like that to be there and experience the whole thing, you know, just, it was so amazing. I can't even describe it. Don't you agree?
Yeah, it was.
And you like the alpacas?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool.
Alpacas or llamas?
Well, I don't know. Were they alpacas or were they llamas? I'm kind of confused.
I don't know. There's some type of fuzzy animal.
I think they're alpacas.
Yeah, I think they're alpacas. But I can't believe how close you can get to them. Just like
because they told us they wouldn't spit on us. So apparently, alpacas don't spit and llamas spit.
Interesting. All right, folks, there you go. Alpacas don't spit and llamas do spit. So the more you know.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe fact check me, but that's what they told us.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. It was kind of good that we didn't do the whole tour thing, because we were able to actually spend a lot more time just kind of looking at everything and just enjoying the scenery, because it was just like, I think as I was walking around, it's like I was able to take a lot of different pictures of like certain parts of Machu Picchu, and that's one of the things that I definitely loved about that whole thing.
yeah,
So
that was cool.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. And I mean, like, it was like one of my top 5 trips, honestly, like that I've been on with you guys. Like, that whole trip was amazing and a great time. And I had a blast.
Yeah. Well, the best part, Adam, sorry to interrupt,
No,
was,
you're good. You're good.
was the kui. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Me and Ashley we were like determined to like have that. And for those people that don't know what it is a guinea pig. And that's something that they eat there in Peru. And Ashley and I and Michael, you found a restaurant and got a whole one, like deep fried. And it was an awesome experience to be, you know, like try the food. And it wasn't even that bad because Adam ate a foot.
Yeah.
So.
No, and I ate part of a head too, because remember I kissed it before I took the bite out of it.
I still watch that post to this day.
And it's funny because people who don't know, guinea pig, it's greasy like a duck, I would say, but it tastes a little bit like a rabbit, I would say, like, because I've had rabbit before, and it's kind of that greasy duck rabbit flavor texture, and it was still good. It was real good. Like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's just super like gamey meat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah,
Ashley bit into it. She's like into the like skin, and she's like you can't. It's like rubber, you know. And Michael, you is like dying. He's like, oh, like you're a savage, Ashley.
Oh, I remember Mike got really sick because he was trying to walk into the city of town. Needless to know, with us knowing that it was uphill.
Yeah.
The first day we got there.
Oh yeah, that walk. You guys ended up taking an Uber, right?
Oh yeah, because like my wife had an O2 sensor on, and she brought one because mainly for Emma because of her lungs, and so she was like mid 80s, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm not walking anymore. Like, we gotta take a car in town. And so I'm like, okay, like I wasn't gonna fight her.
Yeah.
I was weird because my O2 stats were still up in like the mid 90s the whole time we were there, and of course she's looking at me like, the hell's what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. I feel fine. But yeah, Mike almost died because he decided to walk in Cuzco uphill on the first day.
I can't believe that I walked it out of all people. Because I'm not really in shape, you can tell here. So.
Well, it could be your lung capacity too. Your lungs could be like tip-top shape too. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, that was cool.
That was a long walk.
Yeah. And you know what I really like too is the churros.
Yes.
Amazing churros. Oh my gosh. That was the best.
We went back like what 2 or 3 times at most.
And they were so cheap. It's like you can get a whole bunch for like $1 or something. I don't know what it was, or $1 or what was it? What was our point? Sole. Yeah, like one of those for 2 churros or something. It was good. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a fun trip.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I'm ready to go back, but I'm assuming it's going to be 2021. By the way, everything's.
Well, I am really bummed because that was Ashley's first trip with the group, and she fit in just fine with everybody. And I was really hoping that you were going to the Olympics so she could go with you.
2021.
Yeah.
2021. And the invite's still open. So.
Yeah, because she was really wanting to go on another trip while she's still on my benefits, you know. flying benefits. But what's buying a ticket though? But that's against the rules.
Or you could marry someone in the airline industry just for the benefits, just legal document. Just.
There was something else about that trip that I was thinking about besides the churros. Oh, I know what it was. When we went, remember that one day when we went to like that flea market or whatever that is, at the outdoor market thing, and we got to sit with the people and eat like they did at those picnic tables, and that food was amazing. You got like a whole big plate of food for like nothing. You know what I'm talking about?
In Lima or in Cuzco?
In
Cusco.
Cusco. Remember we went into the like flea market place where you could buy like guinea pigs and all that other stuff?
Did Adam go with us?
Oh, Adam, you didn't go with us?
I don't think I went on with that one. But if you want to tell the story, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, okay. So we went to this like a flea market place, and there was just like tables, like wooden picnic tables, and the people like came there to eat with their families and stuff, and we ate with them. And so like you got the culture, the food and everything. It was like a really cool feeling, like to be part of it. So yeah, you weren't there, huh?
No, I wasn't there. Yeah. I don't know what happened that day, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, but that was really cool.
The day you guys left, we went to the weaving markets out of town, like by about 45 minutes. But it was really cool because it was a super small town, but like they had all these different like weave products to sell, and it was like pretty dirt cheap. And like, these women that weave have been doing it for like generations. It's like a family generational thing.
Oh,
and it was really cool to check out. And then be in that little town, there wasn't a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anything else about Peru? No? Other than I want to go back next year. I mean,
yeah, that was awesome. That's something else.
We had that one experience with the Uber driver.
Oh yeah. The Uber driver. Go ahead, Ashley.
So we were in an Uber, and it took forever to pick us up. And we got in the car. He didn't really talk to us or anything. And he just pulled into a gas station, got out of the car, and like disappeared for like 10 minutes.
Like maybe he went to take a dump. We don't even know. Hopefully he washed his hands, but we don't even know.
He just disappeared for 10 minutes, and it was like us and Phil.
Yeah, we're like, what the?
Was Arnie, were you in there too?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were just like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, he didn't even say a word.
Hey, better than my experience in Egypt, though. So, I mean.
What happened in Egypt? You had to ride camels?
No. So what happened in Egypt was, I talked about in my Egypt episode, which I think, if you want to hear that, it's episode 2 or 3. I forgot.
Okay.
But anyway, so what happened in Egypt was we checked out. We were heading to the airport in order to get back home. It was a red-eye flight to Abu Dhabi. So we requested an Uber. He took forever to get there. Another guy shows up. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm your Uber driver. And like, looked at the license plate. I'm like, no, that's not you. Get the hell out of here. And so the guy took so long, he canceled the ride. So it's like, okay, whatever. So I re-requested. Guess who I got linked up with? Scammer dude. It's all like, oh, great. Okay, here we go. So he comes and gets me. I didn't think anything about it because we were kind of in a rush because we had very minimal time to get there before the hour cutoff. And so we hop in, put our stuff in the back. He pulls off the property. He's like, hey, I need money for gas. And I'm like, oh, hell no. Pop the trunk, get my stuff out. I want out. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. No, it's fine. And so, of course, I had Google Maps up. And that time of night in Cairo, there's no traffic. It was like 11:30 at night. No traffic. You should be able to go through the citadel of town to get to the airport versus usually it's quicker on the highway during the middle of the day. So he took the ultra long way around. Like literally he went on the highway all the way around past the airport, took the highway back around because it's a big circle highway around Cairo. And like the whole time, like I'm thinking, because my wife's even looking at me like, okay, what's going on? Mm-hmm. And I was over here like looking around the car and it's like, look, if this guy pulls off the side of the road, tries to do something, like what blunt instrument can I use to kill someone with? Yeah. Because I am like, one of us is going to die and I'm not going to go down without a fight. So what happened was we went all the way around, get to the checkpoint to get on the airport because, Egypt had a pretty big problem with terrorism. They have a bunch of checkpoints to get into the airport. So we drive up one checkpoint. There was an issue with his license or something, so the cop tells him, hey, pull over to the side and wait. So we pull over to the side and wait, and I'm like, dude, like, what the heck? Like, if there was this was going to be an issue, we should have freaking took the shorter way. Like, the hell? And so 10 minutes later, he gets back in the car, drops up. The Uber ride was supposed to be only like $15, and it'd be up almost like $45, $50
Oh my God.
because of the way he took. And so, of course, my wife's freaking out. She's like, hey, and I'm like, I'll fight with Uber. Don't worry about it. I'll deal with it. But yeah, it was a scary experience because like he went completely out of his way to get more money pretty much.
But you never know, especially in another country, because we don't know, you know, how people are.
So for me, in that experience, next time I'll just use the hotel transportation or someone at the hotel vets. So next time.
Yeah.
So I was so much in a rush that I wasn't even thinking about it because I was just like, I just need to get to the airport. Like, I don't care how I get there. But yeah, but I ended up fighting Uber with it. Uber refunded me, I think, like almost like $35 of it. So,
oh, nice.
Because like they can clearly tell like what he did. And so, but yeah, that was a scary experience though. Like,
yeah.
I know we were contemplating if we were gonna like just get in the driver's seat and start driving ourselves.
Yeah,
the guy was taking forever.
Well, you can do that because he knows where you're going to take the car at, so it's not like you're stealing it. You're just borrowing it temporarily. I'm just borrowing it to get to my destination. You know where my destination's at, so
yeah, no big deal.
Just take a cab and meet up with your car. I'll leave the keys in there.
Yeah. You know one thing about Peru though that was neat? The hairless dogs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The hairless dogs.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. We like dogs, so that was pretty cool. So.
Or how about the one lady that was carrying around, was it a llama that she was carrying around? It's like, oh, you guys want to take a picture with it?
Lamb.
Yeah, and then it's like she wanted more money. She wanted hold it. Wanted more money. Yeah. But that's
like, wait, we just want to take a picture.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite pictures though, with that little baby.
Yeah. Little Emma has a picture holding a llama or an alpaca with the three ladies. And the same thing, like my wife gives them like $5 US and they were like shaking her down for more. And she's like, no, like this is way more money like in your country than like, no. So yeah, they're pretty aggressive. So if you ever go to Cuzco, take your picture with the llamas, but make sure that you set a price or you make sure you don't make the lady shake you down.
Or just go to Machu Picchu and take a picture with it there.
Exactly.
That's a great idea too. I enjoy that idea.
Yeah. But yeah. Everything was good. And Emma went with us, which we had so much fun with Emma. And having a child going to another country, I always thought, oh, that would be so difficult. But she was so, I think because she's done so many trips, that she's such a good traveler. So that was cool too. You know, that was a really cool experience for me. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, she's a little trooper when it comes to traveling. So I mean,
she's awesome.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens afterwards, like getting back on an airplane if it's been so long. So
yeah, it's funny too because it was just like I had already set up what my next trip was going to be this year, and lo and behold, it was going to be the Great Wall of China, but that because I was going to do it in October, but I forget it now.
Yeah,
you can still go. I don't see what's stopping you.
This is true.
Yeah, my sister and I had a trip planned in October. It was, Heather. Is that right? Our trip planned in October.
We have one in May and October.
May and October, yeah. But we're gonna go in May instead, and we're going to Venice.
Next May.
Next May, we're gonna go on a cruise. Out of Greece. So that should be interesting because Greece is on my bucket list. So.
And we have
we had the airline races in Hawaii this year. We signed up for them, but it looks like it's probably a no-go. So
cruise ship? You mean the breeding ground of the Rona? Those cruise ships?
Yes. I know. I don't know, Adam. I don't know. We got to see how this all pans out with this pandemic thing.
Hazmat suits. You wear a full respirator the whole time. I think you'll be good.
Yeah. Look, you know what? That's the bad thing about this coronavirus and these masks and stuff. You know, somebody might look good looking or something, but you don't know when they take that mask off. It might be a whole big surprise.
I'm just surprised we can go into a bank with those things on. It's like,
No,
really?
don't you feel like a bank robber? You're like, look at me, I gotta wear a mask. This is so cool.
Oh,
Sorry,
man. No, that's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. Everybody looks suspicious.
Mhm.
Everybody does look suspicious. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this whole Corona thing it's caused thrown a lot of wrenches into people's lives, you know, especially for us in the airline industry, because all the in-flight candidates got canceled, so withdrawn. So you guys are stuck with me.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yes.
I didn't hear that. So
Yes, all the candidates have been withdrawn from in-flight. So whenever they open it up again, we have to reapply and do all that stuff over again. So basically, you guys are stuck with me. I'm not really heartbroken, but I'm sure you guys are. I go, this is more trips I get to go on with Adam and everything else. I'm so excited. So
there you go.
Yeah, there's always a positive to a negative.
There is.
Yes.
I don't know how a couple of the people at work that were still in the pool feels about that, but
yeah, no, I know. I feel sad for like a lot of people, but like me and my situation, it was good either way. I like being in SMF. I like my people. So you know what? I'm good with it. So, yeah.
there you go.
More breakfast to cook, more food to bring in, more parties to throw.
Yes.
So,
Fantastic.
yeah. So you and Ashley Tokyo, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything, remember, open invite. So.
All right. Look forward to it.
Done and done. And it sucks though because there was supposed to be a World's Fair in Dubai and they just delayed that till next year too, to next winter. So my whole 2020's clean slate. So
yeah,
next year.
Yeah, life is short.
There's always next year.
Always next year.
That's right.
Until New Year's Eve rolls around and then it becomes the 13th month of 2020, and then we're done.
You know what, Adam? I am so happy that you were able to go to New York this year for the Thanksgiving Day parade, because they might not have it this year. Who knows? Look, that's a plus to this whole situation. Yeah, this is great. It was worth it, wasn't it? So you're not spending any money this year, so perfect.
My wife keeps bringing that up to me, that it was like, oh, this was such a great idea, because I'm just like, yeah.
It's true.
It is true. Alrighty, guys. So awesome. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate everything. This is TGE Quarantine Travel Chronicles. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Well, next
Good
time.
seeing you, Adam. Bye, Arnie.
Bye.